We're aiming sniper rifles, throwing Molotovs, and slowly starving to death. That's right, it's Outbreak Undead 2nd Edition from Renegade Games. This post-apocalyptic survival horror RPG, created by Chris De La Rosa and our very own Ivan Van Norman, is featured in Geek and Sundry's We're Alive Frontier. Outbreak Undead is an intricate and realistic system, but not all that difficult to play. Today we'll review the basics of character creation, game mechanics, and resolving encounters. Outbreak Undead features an open-world environment. The GM can fabricate anything from lumbering Romero zombies to gas-guzzling, mask-wearing raiders in the barren wastelands. Just as D&D doesn't have to have dungeons and/or dragons, Outbreak can be whatever post-apocalyptic flavor you choose. The flexibility of the game allows GMs to use as many realism mechanics as they want, or discard what they don't like. The green rules in the book feature arcade mode, while the crunchier yellow rules are titled Weekend Warrior, and the hardcore calorie-counting survivalist rules are featured in red. So let's jump right in with character creation. Players can choose to embody themselves either 2 hours or 20 years from now. We're Alive Frontier takes place 17 years after day 0, or they can be a fictional character. Outbreak's Create Yourself as a Character involves a 40-question personality test, while fictional characters use a simple point-buy system. The results for both determine the 4 core stats: strength, perception, empathy, and will. Or spew. Outbreak Undead uses percentile dice, or 2d10, that create a value of 1 to 100. Your spew attributes determine the baseline for skills in their category. Check each skill for the basic formula. The higher the value, the better. Additionally, the character sheet features a few other fun things, like damage threshold, morale, and training values. Training values represent the character's background training using specific categories of gear. If you're playing as yourself, this reflects your own skills. Hey, a tool is only as good as the wielder, right? After your character is complete, you're ready to die. Just kidding, it's time to adventure. As you and your fellow survivors venture out, Outbreak Undead constantly tests your odds for survival against both opponents and elements of this new grim reality. Most tests are resolved with skill checks. After calculating their target number, a combination of skill value and any gear bonuses, players roll dice. The number is then compared to that target. For every 10 under the target number, the player gains a degree of success to a maximum of 5. Similarly, for every 10 above the target number, the character gains a degree of failure, also to a maximum of 5. Players use these degrees of success or failure to tell their tale of survival in the game. But watch out, because before they roll, depending on the current environment, the GM can add difficulty dice, which increases the total of the skill check. A slippery surface on top of a moving train might add 4 difficulty dice, making that balance check significantly harder. Combat encounters are essentially the same, but feature a few new dice to play with. First, players declare their intent for the round, and the GM gets to assign 1 to 4 speed dice based on how involved the intent might be. Quicker actions need less speed dice, complex actions need more. Initiative may change as you invest more or less action into each round. After speed dice are set, players might add 3 other type of dice to their pool, in addition to the percentile dice. Damage dice. If attacking an enemy, the weapon will include damage dice, and the player may also buy additional damage dice by expending successes on this roll. Difficulty dice. Those pesky additional dice a GM may add based on the environmental conditions. And depletion dice. If any weapons utilize ammunition, the player rolls these, and if the subtotal equals or exceeds the capacity score of the weapon, the clip is empty. Then everyone rolls them up, and we see how many degrees are earned across the table. Bonus! All 6-sided dice have an optional exploding side, meaning a roll of 6 turns into a 5, and that player is awarded another d6 to roll to be added to the total. This is obviously detrimental for difficulty, depletion, and speed, but awesome for damage. If the damage allocated to a character exceeds their threshold, they receive an injury. These hindrances can only be healed with medical supplies or naturally over a long time, and add difficulty dice to all of your tests. It's like real life. One element unique to Outbreak Undead is a system that rewards practical experience through a mechanic called Gestalt. This pool of experience provides stat bonuses based on a character's historical knowledge. Characters begin with a Gestalt pool based on their age at creation. They may assign those points immediately during character creation, or hang on to some of them to apply during gameplay. For example, in We're Alive Frontier, Ginny has practical experience driving the rail driver, and as a result uses 5 of her Gestalt points to gain a bonus on her construction engineering check for the rail driver. Those dice represent her years of experience working with this type of vehicle. Finally, for all you GMs out there, Outbreak Undead gives you the resources to make an unbiased range of difficulty for your survivors. If players start calling a lot of attention to their actions, the GM can reward themselves with risk, which they can use to purchase hazards later in the session. Additionally, the GM also has the ability to reward survival points, which players can use to obtain gear or occasionally earn more Gestalt to increase their stats. There's no such thing as XP in the apocalypse, folks! And that's our preview of Outbreak Undead 2nd Edition. Check it out in action on We're Alive Frontier, Geek and Sundry's newest RPG show, available now on, I'm gonna say it, Project Alpha. And use promo code FRONTIER for a 60-day free trial. You can also pre-order the survival guide on Renegade's website, available this fall, renegadegames.com/outbreakundead. I'm Becca Scott, and I would be a great game master. I just want everybody to know that.